It's just jumped over to 11:01. We're slightly late, but good morning and welcome to the late morning show with Lisa and Anton. I'm Anton.
And I'm Lisa.
And this, of course, is Skittle, who has basically decided to take over the show.
Well, she's here almost every day. But today is an interesting thing. She wants to claw holes into my shoulder today.
It's usually what she does.
No, she usually just lays still nicely. But
she's about as restful as an earthquake.
Oh, she's a teeny little stink.
Mm.
I have my hair up again today for people who are wondering where my hair went, because it's going to be 900 degrees and humid. So
it is at least.
I don't like wearing a scarf on really hot days.
So I also have it's Magickal Moonday, and I have a small admission to make. Apparently, I bopped a drolic yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I wear another hat. I'm actually chair of New Paltz Public Access. So we run MPZ TV, which is our local public access TV station on channel 23 on Spectrum. If you are in the area and can watch it, and I don't know why my mail is going ping ping ping, but it probably will all morning. So we were setting up a new as the emergency orders have been rescinded in New York now, and public meetings have to be held in public. We were setting up and testing a new camera rig, which is pretty cool. It's actually a Meeting Owl Pro, but I inadvertently put a test up live on Facebook yesterday afternoon. So some of you may be wondering what the hell was going on.
I deleted it finally.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Oh, well.
Because you didn't really need to see the piles of work in progress on the kitchen table.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, no, we've got good morning, Kilda.
Good morning, Anita.
It wasn't supposed to go anywhere. It was supposed to be completely unlisted.
Good morning, Lois.
I thought I was only going
to a test, yeah.
To a test on YouTube. I put it up as an unlisted thing. But unfortunately, because we use Livestream. Livestream Studio 6 is one of the things that we use, and I've got it connected to that as part of our test. We were trying to see if it would work with that as well, and it does. It works beautifully. The unfortunate thing is I put it live on Facebook on our page, and I didn't mean to do that.
Had 100 views, but I took it down because,
Well, you're just looking at me wittering on about nothing in particular.
Hi, Susan.
But people say that's what I do anyway. That's
right.
That's my normal MO. I just witter on about nothing in particular. so such is life.
What you gonna do?
I don't know. Anyway, good morning, Gilda. Good morning, Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us on this
Kendall.
Rather warm day, I have to say today. It's a bit. Oof.
I know. I can see the chickens are already panting.
Oh no! We'll have to get some big ice blocks.
Yeah, I put ice in their water thing, and then they all kind of commune around what they think is their air conditioner. That's okay.
It's something. It'll work. It works.
Anyway, Magickal Moonday.
Magickal Moonday. Yes, it's Magickal Moonday today.
So we know that the moon is moved out of Capricorn now because we're 3 days past the full moon.
Mm.
So the moon is in Aquarius, and it's past Saturn, because Saturn is at 12 degrees Aquarius.
Yes.
So the moon has moved into around 22, I think, degrees Aquarius. So it's in the last decadent, and a day or so more it'll be off into Pisces.
Oh.
Heading for Jupiter.
Oh, morning, Sparky.
So we thought we'd talk, the moon is absolutely waning.
It is.
So it's getting
definitely
smaller
on the wane now,
when you watch it. And
as is the year.
Yep. The sun is past its peak of power, and the days are going to start getting shorter. We don't really notice that until more towards Gual Aust or Lunasa.
Yeah, then you start to notice things are starting to look pretty tired. But I mean, we've still got all the
dog
heat.
days of August and all that jazz to go.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, if you really are getting into Wicca and you really want to understand the moon, try to make a few minutes each evening to watch the moon in the sky.
That's one of the best things you can do.
Watch it for those 4 weeks. See it getting smaller and disappearing. See it getting bigger and moving to full. Watch where it is in the sky, when it rises, when it sets, and just kind of get yourself in in sync with what's going on. Like we always say that so you can still do a magic no matter what's happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So now that the moon is waning, it's a great time to banish debt or release unwanted things, lose weight,
Let go of stuff
illness,
that doesn't
let go
serve
of
you.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good idea. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was, astrology in general and the study of the stars. Astrologus.
It's literally written in the stars.
Sky. Yep. Think about the tides. Right? So I don't know if you want to talk about the...
What, tidal locking?
Yes. Good morning, Dad.
It's difficult without graphics, but it's one of the things that we talk about in our class on the moon, oddly enough, in the Craft of the Wise course. And I think we mention it in our book as well, although we don't go into great detail about it. But it's really interesting that the moon is in synchronous orbit with the Earth, so that's why we always see the same face. And it's quite fascinating. I love to ponder this. Wherever you go on the Earth, you're going to see exactly the same face. The exact same face of the moon is there. Of course, if you go to the southern hemisphere, you're looking at it upside down, so the moon appears to go upside down. It still rises and sets in the same place, east to west, but in the southern hemisphere, it goes to the north, not to the south, which is kind of really confusing. So it's like, ooh, hang on, this is a bit confusing. But it makes sense because you're upside down, that's all. But yeah, one of the things I just want to echo, observation of the moon is one of these amazing things that you should do. Note what time it rises and what time it sets. If you can, sketch it or take a picture of it. But sketch is better because it's somehow that's
encompasses your energy. Yeah,
it's imprinting your. I always find when you write things down, you can remember it better sometimes. And doing a sketch of something, you're really calling on your visual memory to draw that. So you're going to start to learn the progression of the moon, and it's really, really interesting. And it's quite simple when you start to think about it. I mean, the full moon, for example, rises at sunset and sets at dawn, and is up for the entire night. It's visible for the entire night, which is cool because it stands opposite the sun because it's fully illuminated. Yeah. The new moon rises with the sun and sets with the sun and occupies the same position in the sky as the sun and therefore is invisible to us. And it's kind of interesting if you see the sun, like if we take them first quarter and last quarter, which are the points midway, then obviously the first quarter, it's going to rise at midday and set at midnight. And by that, I mean the middle of the period of daylight and the middle of the period of night. That's what I mean by midnight and midday. Yeah, that point equidistant between sunrise and sunset, and that point equidistant between sunset and dawn. Okay, so that's the middle of the night at that point. It's an astrological term. It's not the stroke of 12. But it's kind of cool. We could talk for ages about this, but the energies that you've got within the moon, that it moves so much, it pulls on.
If the moon affects the tides,
oh, it does.
We know it does.
It really pulls
right? It's in
water
tidal
around.
locking. The moon affects the tides,
and the tides affect the moon. That's the tidal locking bit.
And if we are mostly water, then why couldn't the moon affect people?
It's no coincidence that the tarot cards show cups as the element of water, which is your emotions.
So Lois says the moon and the sun actually switch paths this time of year. Right now I see it in my south-facing window, and in the winter it's peeping Tom in my bathroom window as it rides the sky overhead. Yep, absolutely, because the sun is the god and the moon is the goddess, and they do switch places after summer solstice or winter solstice. But again, if we think that the moon affects the tides and we know we're mostly water, there's no reason that the moon couldn't affect us. And yes, that's where we get that term, lunacy.
Oh, we're all lunatics.
Right?
Well, we're all fully paid up members of the lunatic fringe. We are.
Again, you ask anybody who has a job with delicate people, right? that works in mental health
or just works in an emergency room,
right? Or with police,
or it's a law enforcement officer. Yes,
they know when the full moon is. They don't even have to look in the sky. They know when the craziness starts. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I talk too loud?
Bye then. Speaking of crazy,
her real name is Morgan, but we've called her Skittle for so long because she's a schizoid. She's just a schizoid.
Sparky says ask midwives as well.
Yeah, anybody who's who works with delicate or, birth especially.
Wow.
You know if somebody's hanging on and doesn't want to come out, that they're going to be born near a full or new moon. Lois says my vaccine clinic. Yeah. Well, there's a reason why we call them lunatics, you know?
Well, yeah.
So.
I suppose we're not allowed to do that anymore.
No.
No. Nobody's really a lunatic, although everybody is affected by the moon. How can you not be? You know, when it was, I spent so much time a couple of 3 days ago with the Capricorn full moon.
The teachers also know, yeah.
It was beautiful.
The Capricorn full moon
and
was
to watch
gorgeous.
it rise up, and I mean, it's exactly the same size wherever it is in its journey across the sky. It's just when it's close to, the point of moonrise or moonset. You've got a frame of reference. You've got objects to compare it to, so it looks much bigger. It's just an optical illusion. If you hold your thumb up, wherever it is, it's exactly the same size. So, but it just looks so much bigger when it's close to the horizon, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But it's so evocative to watch that moon rise, and it does. You can see why it inspires people, and it's the. By the light of the moon, it's everything. It's romance, it's poetry, it speaks to your soul in some way. And so I guess I am a lunatic. Hello, speaking of lunacy.
Don't get your tail in the candle, Sally.
Please get it out of
the picture.
Out of the picture. They don't want to see your tail.
They don't care. I think most of our viewers really love cats, so it's not.
It's probable.
Anyway, I'm just worried about.
Flaming cat is
Flaming
not a good
cat
thing.
is not
Yes,
what I want. No.
No,
All right. So the fixed signs over the next couple of weeks are really going to have.
Well, according to your taroscopes, we're screwed.
Well, I was just going to mention the taroscopes. Yeah. Sean is saying moon controls the tides. Yes, you must have tuned in late. We've been talking about that, Sean, for sure.
Yeah.
Humans are made of water. Yep.
Tidal locking is what holds the moon actually in synchronous orbit with the Earth. It's that drag that it places on the orbit, so it stays in.
So there are very few times when I do the taroscopes every month, and when I look at the next month ahead, I usually go, oh, that's interesting, or oh, that could do that, or that could do that. I actually mapped out the taroscopes for July and went, oh, F.
Oh, poo-poo.
So we'll be talking about that Wednesday night because it'll be the first Wednesday of the month. So we'll read the taroscopes and talk about astrology for July.
Yes.
And right now I think we better pick a card. Dottie says, my aunt told me that it's our Native Americans who knew when the baby was being born, counted by the full moons. The full moon of my kitchen shining at 2 a.m. Beautiful. Okay.
And why not? Why not? Indeed.
All right, card of the day.
Sparky apparently loves cats. Well, you really love a cat. Hey, this is cool.
Card of the day.
I love this card. This is cool. So yeah, maybe a little bit of chaos around you, but ain't nothing you can't cope with. You're standing above everything. You're batting it down. So it really is. You may be a bit of a today may be a bit whack-a-mole. Should we?
Yeah, whack-a-mole. Yeah.
Whack-a-mole, as opposed to guacamole. So yeah, you might find yourself having to run around and put out a few fires. Please don't drool all over the computers. Stop it. Does anybody want a cat?
She's so weird.
She's just please. She's. I promise she won't rip you to shreds or barf all over your carpet. Because she never does that around here.
She's tiny and strange. All right. Anyway,
yes.
Reading for today?
If you can keep your head when others around you are losing theirs, I think that's the key.
Yep.
Stay on top of things.
And I think that's the reading I would give is that you really have more control than you think.
Yeah.
And it may be a day for multitasking, and just taking care of business, but I feel like you're going to be able to do it with ease.
It is.
All right.
The Seven of Wands. Sorry, Sparky, if you can't see it.
Seven of Wands, yep.
Just waving it around like a crazy thing.
All right.
But yeah,
we're going to have to get on our merry way.
Speaking of batting things down, we've got a couple of unplanned, I would call it.
Yes.
Well, they've just firmed up into plans like today. We've got to move quickly today, so this card speaks to us as well.
Yep,
so
we're going to take care of a lot of things.
We've got to take care of a lot of things. So unfortunately, we can't stay here and chat for the rest of the day.
And my battery is going to kick out. It's in red.
Oh no, I can hook you up.
All right, that's all right.
We're all good. Thank you so very, very much for watching. Do please tell your friends all about Elevensies. We want to be less of a well-kept secret.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. We have to make our next milestone.
Yes.
And yes, Dottie, thank you. You stay safe and have a great day too.
All
and
right.
we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.